All right, there we go. All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Venture Insights podcast, a place where we have conversations with cool founders and VCs. Today, I am thrilled to have with me Wil Geller. Welcome to the show, Will.
Thank you. I appreciate it. What's going on, everyone?
First question for you: how are you doing today? Where are you calling in from?
I'm doing good. Calling in from Dallas. Very, very hot Dallas, Texas right now. Um, but doing well, staying busy and, just cranking out work and enjoying the process.
Nice, man. All right, so let's just dive right into it. Who's Wil Geller? Give us a little bit of your backstory and kind of what you're working
Yeah.
on right now.
Yeah. So who is Wil Geller? Yeah. So Wil Geller, obviously I'm from the East Coast. So originally born and raised in like the Washington, D.C. area right outside of it. So um, it's called Northern Virginia. Um, Grew up there for my entire life, lived there until I was 20, did typical sports and everything like that. Moved out to Dallas here just about 2 years ago. Started a influencer management business with my co-founder of our current company, StoryIt, and we used to manage, TikTok influencers, do marketing, all those types of things. So now we do StoryIt, which is a software that allows businesses to turn customers into influencers. So rather than hiring, expensive influencers, you can get the average customer that's, always eating or always shopping at your place to be posting for you on Instagram. In exchange, they get, cash rewards or discounts, or you can really do anything you want. It applies to pretty much any industry. So I've been doing that now. Grew up in a family of entrepreneurs as well. Brother was a SaaS founder. Dad was in logistics, and mom was kind of in the government contract space. So obviously very blessed for that. Got a lot of experience from them, and just working on StoryIt now.
Nice, man. And where'd you get the idea for Story It?
Yeah, so kind of tying back into the influencer days, we noticed that influencers, although they have large followings, don't drive super hard or super high returns. So instead of getting one person with 100,000 followers, you can get a couple thousand people with 1,000 followers each. You pay them, $1, give them discounts in exchange for posting on Instagram. So we built the software to allow businesses to do that, and as well as build the customer facing side, which we can now reward people directly through a web app, and you don't have to download anything. So that's kind of where we got the original idea from.
Nice, man. And how did you guys acquire your first initial customers?
Yeah, so being in a startup, there's a lot of just grinding. It's like really cliche to say that, but with us, I mean, we literally just went to hospitality groups, all across Dallas, walked into their offices and essentially just demanded a meeting. So we basically were just like, hey, we have this software. We're college grads. We want to show you what we can do. And being young and being a college grad really helps because people don't want to turn you down. So, these people listened and they loved it. And we just launched with a couple restaurants here. And then that really helped us scale to kind of where we're at now, which is going, more across the country. So it's been awesome working with them, and they've been an awesome first client.
That's great, man. Congrats. Um, so I guess who are your customers essentially for the people who don't know who you're
Hmm.
selling to pretty much?
Yeah, so Storia is really for the business side of things in terms of how we make money. We obviously go directly to the businesses. Specifically, it's hard to pick one specifically because Storia works for literally everything, whether it's sporting events or it's concert, whatever it is. Our target market, though, to kind of really answer the question, was restaurants and hospitality groups. So specifically restaurants and hotel chains. If you enjoy your dinner somewhere, the likelihood you're going to post it is already pretty high. So we just went to them and said, hey, now they'll post and they'll get rewarded and they'll come back. So yeah, that's kind of been our first target market.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So I guess what's been the biggest obstacle or hurdle to overcome so far in your journey?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest challenge or obstacle that we've had is we want to hire like a lot of people, but there's just when you're in a startup, you obviously have to save money, and you have to do as much as you can for as long as you can. So, for us, it's just been having a lot of sales calls and people doing certain things they don't want to do, and obviously a startup requires that. But I mean, other than that, we haven't had any crazy challenges yet, which we're thankful for, but we know they're coming at some point. So just waiting for that to happen.
For sure, man. So another big thing in startup culture is picking the right co-founder.
Mhm.
How'd you meet your co-founder?
Yeah, so I got really lucky with Branson, my co-founder. We actually grew up playing baseball together. When we were like 5, 6, 7 years old, and pretty much until college, we didn't really talk after those couple of years. And over COVID, we were able to reconnect. And he was already working in the influencer space, and he had, already started our previous company. So he brought me in to kind of handle more of the operational side, and that's kind of just where it all started. We're very, very close now. Still, it's a perfect fit. There's a lot of things that he's really good at that I'm not so great at, and the same thing, goes for me with him. So it's a dream match. Not many people are able to be super close with their co-founder and have a really really good working relationship as well. And so I'm super grateful for that, and I know he is too. And it's just been it's been perfect.
Nice, man. Yeah, that works out perfectly for sure. Um,
Hmm.
so to drill into that a little bit more, what is Will not good at? What are some of Will's weaknesses?
Yeah. So I mean, I love talking to people, but sales for me is I've always found a little bit difficult. I can give product demos all day long, because that's what I'm good at is the product side of things and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, sales is not one of my strong suits. I wouldn't say I'm bad at it, but it's definitely not my strongest skill. Um, in coding, probably. I'm okay at it. I want to be better at it, but I'm um, not fluent in anything that's super important besides like Python. So you know,
Yeah, I mean, better than nothing though. There's some people out there
right?
who
Yeah,
who are running companies and they can't even code. So I mean, you
yeah.
got a leg
That's
up on them
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I would also say a lot of the times, or like the one thing that I would like to be better at that I'm not very good at, is effectively communicating within our company. There are just like sometimes I want to put stuff out or get stuff across, but I just don't have the right way to effectively communicate it. And sometimes things can get lost in text messages and Slack messages and things like that. So that's something I'm always working on, trying to get the message across in a effective and short and concise way.
Yeah, for sure. So where are you going to like learn these skills or acquire these skills that you don't have? Just YouTube or reading books, or how does an
Yeah,
entrepreneur like level up pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the things that I learned that I wasn't good at previously and worked on was, just from realizing that I'm not very good at them. And there's it kind of ties back into having a really good relationship with your co-founder. There are things obviously that he's much better than me at, and I notice that. And we talk a lot about in sales, like he helps me a lot, and things I should say, things I need to work on, and obviously like reading books and stuff like that. But it's mostly just experience. Um, when I mess up trying to communicate something, or if I mess up something when I'm, doing a sales call, um, it stings, but I know that for the next call, I maybe shouldn't say this, or maybe I should, try to figure out another way to say something. Um, it's everyone says it's experience, but it really is true.
Gotcha. Okay. And for those of you listening who don't know, pretty much they're like a B2B company, right? You're selling to
Hmm.
pretty like
Yeah.
well-established businesses. So I'm curious, like, what's the pitch like to them? Because here you are, a scrappy startup. You're you're asking for a lot of trust from them to give you. So how do you overcome that? I guess that sales objection, to put it.
Yeah. So, I mean, for us, um, it makes it a lot easier to pitch when you know that every business can use it. It gets rid of the like, we don't want to use this, or like, this doesn't fit in with our budget or whatever it might be. So that gets rid of a lot of the rejection. But the main kind of objections that we have are usually from, just trying to say, hey, like, there is this alternative tool to Facebook ads and TikTok ads and stuff like that. And it's a lot more organic. So for us, our pitches are really just saying, hey, like, do you want people to post about you? And no one's ever said no for someone posting about them. So once we say that, it's pretty much just immediately going right into the demo and showing them, hey, like, this is how it works. It takes 2 minutes from start to finish, and that's it.
Got you. Okay. Um, do you have any competitors in this space or?
Yeah. So we have, it's kind of interesting. So
Mhm.
our competitors that we know of so far, two of them work in more of the TikTok side of things, and they're
Okay.
more as influencer tools to generate more income for if you're an influencer, right? Versus StoryIt, which is basically just saying the average Joe person eating at a casual restaurant or shopping online can post and earn. Um, so that's kind of been our competitive edge, is not working with influencers and saying, hey, this is like an additional tool to earn more income like on the side.
Mhm.
um, that's kind of what they're working on, and we also only work on Instagram, and it's only on stories, so we don't require you to make videos or reels or anything like that, like the other competitors do.
Yeah, it's like literally just a simple picture and then
Yeah,
you get paid. You can
exactly.
get paid. Yeah,
Takes like five
that's
seconds to do.
insane. That's cool. So you come from a marketing background, is that correct?
Yeah. So obviously, like with the influencer stuff, I was pretty heavily involved in doing some of the marketing campaigns with them. I had worked at a marketing agency as in like a kind of like part time um, prior to that, and then I obviously did like the drop shipping and all that stuff before, as every like internet like
Yeah.
entrepreneur like has at some
Oh
point.
yeah, definitely.
Obviously didn't work, and lost like a ton of money on it, but it was a good experience in learning how like ads work and stuff like that.
Okay. So I guess where do you see like the influencer marketing industry heading in the next like 5 years? Like, what are your predictions since you've been in here for quite some time now?
Yeah, so it's interesting. um, I see less money going to one-off brand deals, and I've seen that, and we saw it with our talent as well, and it's kind of going into more longer term partnerships, which is obviously more beneficial for the brand. But I think people are starting to realize that influencer marketing just doesn't drive as like high as returns
Mm,
as, and even creators as well. That's why the creator economy is right now is like, it's just like absurd. There's a new company every single day for the creator economy. Like there's a new thing every single day, but that's what's driving like most of the money right now. Is creator
100%.
backed brands. You see it with Libby Dawn, like she has these like 2 year partnerships with these energy drink brands, like in
Oh yeah.
Vori. She doesn't really do any one off brand deals because it's like building like brand equity essentially. So I think that's kind of where it's going, and I think we'll see more and more people create their own brands. Like I'm sure Livy Dunn at some point will have her own, type of brand or something like that. And um, yeah, so I think that's
100%.
kind of the direction it's heading.
Gotcha. And I guess looking out for StoryIt's future, what are your plans for growth? Are you planning on like tag teaming with like influencers? Are you going for like the top-notch restaurants? Do you want to maybe spiral into like another industry? What do you got
Yeah,
going on there?
uh, yeah. So for us, I mean, obviously hiring the right people to kind of be able to go after all these other markets will be, probably first. Um, I think for us, we would really like to tap into the sports market.
Mm,
I think for just going to a sporting event, there's just so many ways you can share your experience, even if you're watching it on TV. So that's probably a market that we're going to really try to tap into coming into like the end of the year here. And really the goal is just to be in every single restaurant that we possibly can. The goal is to, instead of paying for marketing, let's say you go to like 5 restaurants a month, and all 5 of those, like, you can't escape StoryIt. Like, it's everywhere, and like you eventually just go right into it. That's the goal. It's the best form of marketing. If you can't escape it, like, eventually you're gonna obviously want to have to look into it and maybe even try it. So that's kind of the goal, which basically is just short answer is sales. Um,
Yeah,
you know
definitely, man.
that's
Definitely.
really all we're trying to scale right now.
Hey, good strategy. I like it. Just kind of like get in everyone's face, pretty much, like to the point. You can't
Exactly.
ignore the company. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you talked about hiring a bit. And I want to dive into the GSV summit you guys recently won. Can you talk a little bit
Mhm.
about that?
Yeah, so the GSV Summit, they had their first one in Dallas here this year. So we were the first winner of the Texas Cup, which was awesome. So I think it was like 10 or 12 universities through the DFW area, and there was like 70 applicants. So we went from 70 to 12 to then the top 3, and then obviously we're lucky enough to win that. And it was a great experience. Michael Moe, a pretty legendary investor, Mike Hoke, who's a legend in Dallas and Texas in general, very successful guy, and so they put it on, and we were able to pitch to the entire summit, and thankfully everyone loved it. It was pretty nerve wracking. Obviously, with American Idol style voting, it's a
Uh,
little like terrifying.
yeah, for sure. I
Um,
bet.
so I actually ended up not doing the pitch. It's not one of my strong suits. And since it was less product focused and more like metrics and number focused, my co-founder Branson and one of our like our earliest like partner or employee, whatever you want to call him, Campbell, who's also a really good friend of ours, helped do the pitch as well. So they killed it. We got a lot of connections from it. People just wanting to either invest or use the software or introduce us to the right people. So it was a great event. We've got like lifetime access to all the other events, so we'll be
Oh,
going.
wow. Nice.
If I highly recommend, if anyone's listening to this and they there's a GSV near them upcoming, then I would 100% apply. It's a great networking event. Even if you guys don't win, you meet so many people, and they're so fun. Um, the speakers
Yeah.
are great, and we loved it. So
Do you have plans for either like more competitions? Do you guys want to go for like an accelerator? You can apply to like YC. You taking on investing? Like, what's the strategy there?
yeah, so after the GSV, we were able to raise some good money. We didn't end up raising through like VC. We ended up just doing angel rounds. So we got a good amount of angel investors to invest, and that was great. And then we did apply to YC. We did not get accepted, which is okay. We didn't, when we did the application video, it was before we won GSV.
Hmm.
And we definitely could have done a better job on that video. So I look back on it now and I kind of regret submitting it, but yeah, probably won't do any more pitches. The money's obviously great and the recognition's great, but they're pretty tough. We're already working our butts off, like trying to scale this thing. So and with the money we raise, it just doesn't. Um, just don't really need it.
Got you. So you said you took money from angel investors. Is that correct?
Hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
what's your?
So go ahead.
I was gonna say like, what's your criteria for bringing someone obviously like onto the company? They're gonna be like an advisor.
Hmm.
Do you look for like past startup experience, like a solid track record, or aligned values? What's it like that there?
Yeah. So it's definitely tricky when you're really early because you're at a line between like we need money
Hmm.
and like, well, there's two sides, right? It's like that we need money, and then it's like I want to pick the right person that is not going to like, be crazy and interfere with my business. So for
Exactly.
us, it was trying to find a middle ground of like, okay, how many can we get that like, they're okay with not being that really involved, and then, trying to figure that out. So for us, every investor that we've brought on serves, some sort of connection or purpose, whether it's all the people that they work with, the businesses they own, or it's, hey, I know this person, I'll introduce you, or just like general advice. Our investors are, some are on the creator side, some are in like, the typical like corporate side. So we have people from all over, which is, awesome. And we every time we send out an email, asking for advice or, hey, we need, a connection, there's always someone that has that connection or can help us with hiring or whatever it is. So, we lucked out. Not everyone gets to be really lucky with the people who invest. Sometimes there's obviously scenarios where, people can get too involved and whatnot, but luckily, we were super lucky and, didn't have to worry about that.
Awesome, man. Yeah, sounds like you guys are doing good in the whole funding arena.
Yeah, it was crazy. And, it was a new thing to all of us. We'd never raised money before. So a lot of, talks with lawyers and, our parents and just past, people that we knew that have, raised money in the startup world. So, if anyone out there is going to raise money, try to talk to like anyone you can about raising money, because it's insanely beneficial.
For sure. Do you have like someone in particular who's been like a great mentor throughout your startup journey?
Yeah, a few. My brother, obviously has been a really good resource. He's super technical. He ran a SaaS company, so he was super helpful. And then my brother's friend, Joseph, who started RoboFlow, which is a YC backed company. He was super,
Sick.
super helpful with the whole raising process.
Mhm.
And then got to thank the parents too, obviously.
Yeah,
They were super helpful. So, yeah, but all those people have been great resources, and, you know, um, yeah, just super lucky to have them on my side.
so what do your parents think about you like starting this company straight out of college?
Yeah. So, I mean, they're very supportive of
Nice.
entrepreneurial things, which again, super lucky to have. Not everyone is able to take a huge risk like we did, and still, be okay in certain situations. So, they were totally fine with it. Obviously they, you know, offer advice when they can, but they don't
Yeah.
get, involved with what I'm doing unless I ask. And they love it. They love StoryIt. They talk about it. They rep the brand, and so that's obviously super nice. And if I ever need connections to certain people that they know or whatever it might be, they're always there for me. So very very happy to have that situation.
Yeah, man, that's great. So just to like pivot a little bit, can we just talk a little bit about
Hmm.
the team? Like, how did you guys all
Yeah.
meet? Are you guys working remotely, in person, or
Hmm.
what's
Yeah.
that like?
So the team is comprised of me and Branson, and then we have Campbell, Yuvon, Jason, and Michael. So we have three developers, and then we have me, Branson, and Campbell. Campbell's our CFO, and then Jason and UV are our CTO and CPO, and then Michael is like our senior engineer. So we're scattered like all throughout the country. So
Oh, well, okay.
Campbell and I are here in Dallas. Branson's in Austin. Michael's in Lima, Peru.
Wow.
And then Jason and UV are in College Park. Um, Kind of going into how I met them. So Jason and UV are part of this thing at the University of Maryland called the Startup Shell, which is like a
Okay.
tech incubator for anyone that has like a startup or anything like that. So my brother was actually originally in it in like 2012, 2013. So I reached out, found UV. Somehow UV or Yuvon was actually rooming with Jason. And so then we brought Jason on board, which was awesome. and they started as just like regular engineers, and now they head up like all of our tech stuff, which is great. Um, Michael, we found on Indie Hacker because we were trying to find someone to help, change over our code, and he was super proficient in what the original code was wrote in. So, and he has 20 years of experience, so it was very easy for us. Um, and then Campbell, we just met in college. Nothing special. We've just known him since college, and he's a really, really smart kid. Has a ton of experience in the finance world, so it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, man, that's pretty solid team for sure.
Yeah, we love it, and we also have Patrick. I almost forgot. Patrick is our head of growth. He does a lot of our sales. So we recently just brought Patrick on about a month ago, and then right now we're hiring a couple more salespeople as well.
Gotcha. And you're the CEO, correct?
I'm the COO.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
Branson's the CEO. I'm the COO. But I mean, really, as a company, most decisions are made company wide,
Mm,
unless it's something that it's like really, really important to one of us. Then obviously it's different. But Branson and I pretty much do every decision together. We value each other's input, and we don't really fight. We have disagreements. It's very common for co-founders. There are
that
a
was
lot
my
of
next
things that he
question.
thinks. Yeah, there's a lot of things that he thinks we should do that I don't, and vice versa. So we never argue, but if someone says, "Hey, like this is what I think is best," then if we all agree on it, then we move forward with it. So it's all about finding the balance.
Awesome. And you all are not paying yourselves a salary, right? Just straight equity.
No, yeah, no salary. So you know, we would all love to take a salary, but obviously our developers, we obviously pay, but that's about it. Um, where everyone else is all just equity, so just grinding it out.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I admire that for sure, man. Could go the easy way and just get a job, take a salary.
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes it's tough, but you find ways to cut costs.
and man, yeah, being in the trenches is fun though. I'm sure, right? Every day is
It
like
is,
pretty much, yeah,
yeah.
it's a grind. Yeah. So, all right. So I guess last question for like story. Would you be comfortable sharing some like metrics, like how many users you guys have, or what cities you guys are in, just things like that.
Yeah, I can tell you what cities we're in,
Okay.
metrics wise. Um,
Confidential.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Okay, no worries.
launching the one client that we're launching with is Taco Bueno across Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. So that's like a really large one that we work with. Some other ones are like Vandalay Hospitality Group, Lombardi Hospitality Group. So they have locations all across LA, um, Austin, and Dallas. Um, and then, that's it for really the business side of things. Like a lot of times people ask us how many users we have, but since we're not an app, like we don't have to bring our own users. The restaurants bring the users. So, and we are pretty early, obviously. So, eventually when we're huge and I come back on, it'll be a lot easier to share metrics. But yeah, so we're working with them, and it's been great. Um, and I know there was another part to the question. I don't entirely remember. If you could say it again.
No, you hit it on the head for sure.
No,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, man, dude, excited for the growth, man. It's gonna be crazy. Like everyone, pretty much, every millennial and like under, they're like guaranteed pretty much to take a picture of their meal at least like
Exactly.
once a week, maybe. So it's pretty like
Exactly.
intuitive product.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It works for everyone.
hmm Exactly, man. All right, well, we're coming up on time, and I'm gonna send you off with some like just rapid fire questions, just to get to know you a bit better.
Yeah.
Sound good? All right,
Yeah.
cool. Favorite book?
Favorite book. I don't remember the name of it. Oh, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. That's my favorite book.
Oh, that one, yeah, for sure. Um, if you could only take one thing with you on an island, and you're gonna be stranded for who knows how long, what would you bring with you?
A machete.
Solid. Who's your role model?
Mm, role model? I'd say my brother.
Solid. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, made up, who would it be?
Deader. Mr. Robot, or Elliot from Mr. Robot, the TV show.
Gotcha. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Interstellar.
And if you could frame one quote, what would it be?
It's actually one that I got from my brother. It is F it, ship it. Um, it's a very infamous poster that he had, um, and it just reminds you, just say F it and ship it. Like just see how it goes, get your product out, and let the market decide.
I like that. All right, last one. It's a little bit deeper. If you had the attention of the entire world right now, what would you say?
Shit, that's a tough one. If I had the attention of the entire world, what would I say? I would say sign up for StoryIt, obviously, and just be a good person. Don't treat people, bad, and just be a nice person. Treat everyone respectfully and equally, and you know, just mind your own business. Also,
I like it. I like it. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Wil Geller. Be sure to go check out Story It, coming to a restaurant near you. You want to
yes,
say anything else, Will?
absolutely. If anyone wants to check us out, it's www.storyit.app. And yeah, if anyone's listening wants to reach out or connect with me on LinkedIn, feel free.
Cool. All right, well, thanks for lending us your ears, everyone, and take care.